It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
I'm going to go hang out at the Triforium tonight. The first Friday, there are 3 of these tonight. I'm going to go hang out with the Wizard of L.A. and Reverend Marc, and I believe Lumi is going to be up there, the All-Seeing Eye. And this idea for a song first came to me, so it's basically, night tonight is gonna be a very special night. Tonight is gonna be a very special night. Tonight is gonna be a very special night. So I thought it would be this. Night tonight is gonna be a very special night. Tonight is gonna be a very special night. Tonight is gonna be a very special night. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night. Night tonight is gonna be a very special. It's gonna be a very special. It's gonna be a very special night. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night. 'Night tonight is gonna be a very special night tonight. Is gonna be a very special night tonight. Is gonna be a very special night. Night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna be a very special night tonight. It's gonna special night. It's gonna be a very special night. It's gonna be, 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 it's gonna be a very special night. So I was just standing at a corner, walking across from one light to go to the across the street to the next light, and while I was standing there at the light, I heard this woman with her daughter, and then the woman's friend was standing there next to her, and the woman goes, "I want to get a boob job," and then her friend goes, "No, you look just great, just the way you are," and then the little girl goes, "Yeah, Mom, you look just great. You look great just the way you are," and then the mom goes, "Yeah, but I want a boob job, damn it, I want a boob job," and you know, some might say, well, that's probably a conversation you'd hear a lot happening throughout in Los Angeles. I'm wondering, is it common anywhere else, or is it only here? Because it's just quite interesting when you hear that kind of thing, and then for the kid to pipe in and have something to say about it. Quite interesting. I'm on my way right now to see the Wizard of L.A., the Triforium, out at the near City Hall. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's where the Batman gathering was, the memorial for Adam West. I think we gathered there. Wow. Did I stand next to that thing? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if I stood next to that thing. Wow. So yeah, the Triforium, they're going to have some kind of some shows and whatnot out there, so I shall be reporting on that later. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
And myself, Tom, my co-workers is such a weird name. My co-directors Jonah Bechtold and Claire Evans, Tanner Blackman. We were tired of seeing this great sculpture almost great. We wanted to fully bake the pizza that is the Triforium. We eat an underbaked pizza and it tastes bad because you underbaked it. People looked at the Triforium and they said, what's going on with this weird thing? Well, it wasn't fully realized. So that's what we're trying to do with these 3 Fridays. And we couldn't be doing these 3 Fridays without the help of so many people. I'll let the siren pass. Oh no, actually they're coming here. LA 2050 Foundation supported us. We won a grant.
Just one of the best.
He's awesome. Oh my God, he did a song recently where he wasn't making fun of it. He just did a cover. He was doing a cover of Weezer, doing a cover of Toto, of Africa, and it's badass.
He was doing a cover.
And his cover's
of
better
Weezer.
than Weezer's cover.
He was doing a cover of Weezer doing a cover of.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that he decided to enter the fractal. Right now, I just got to make a cover of Weird Al.
That's what I'm saying.
We make the cover of Weird Al.
Doing a cover of Weezer, doing a cover of Toto.
Yeah, and then we do the cover of Weird Al.
I wonder if that would start like an internet thing.
Yeah, I think it would.
Just start lumping it on top of it.
I think it would.
It's awesome. I'm gonna send that to you.
My IQ score was
That's some interesting.
163, but it does not matter because I've met people whose IQ score.
Reggie Watts, ladies and gentlemen, Reggie Watts.
This is a measurement though. If someone else, you're gonna let him
We are out here today, ladies and gentlemen, at the Triforium, hanging out here with Reverend Marc. We're here with Reverend Marc and Tara, and Chenzi's over somewhere. Oh, there he is. He's standing with, I think his name is Craig. He's got a beard. All the wizards, they're culminating. And a synchronicity just occurred. Synchronicity just occurred where he's standing on this tall guy is standing underneath this tree, and on the tree was velcroed a red light bulb, and he just so happened to be standing exactly underneath that red light bulb. And a woman came by and she goes, "Oh, excuse me," and she had this little step stool. She goes, "Excuse me, I need to, get up into the tree." And he just reaches up and goes bloop and plucks it out. And it was like this little red light. And I said, "Oh my God!" He just plucked it out of the tree like it was like a cherry from a tree. It was incredible.
No, I find it interesting because it's
Hey, this can. So, what would you say is your passion or talents or whatnot?
I feel like my passion is loving others. I feel like every time I connect to another human being, I'm growing as a person with them, and that's love. So my passion is love, bro.
It's awesome because, oh God, what was I just listening to today? I've been listening to Stuart Wilde and Neville Goddard and all these different philosophers and, people who are just really into wanting to connect more with the universe. And one of the things is that they were saying that each and every single person in our life is a new teacher, and how every single person in our life is like a reflection of ourselves and a different camouflage, So it's just... It's like the universe is giving us another example of ourselves in a different kind of camouflage, and like, okay, where are the commonalities? Where are the connections? And what's so cool is, as you continue to explore more in that area, holy moly, the harmonizations and the synchronizations just keep moving and moving. It's crazy. The stuff that we notice with Chenzi and like, holy cow, it's crazy. What are your thoughts about synchronicities?
I really feel like the more I connect and feel, the higher I get as a person. And like you were mentioning earlier, it's important to do that. Yeah. So you tell me what you think about synchronicity. I want to learn something.
What I've noticed is that the more that I appreciate synchronicities, the more they show up, and in the larger amounts they show up, and it's almost like a fractal kind of Fibonacci sequence kind of thing, because they'll stack up. I mean, there's a time where I was writing down every single synchronicity I was having, and while I was in the middle of writing that down, a synchronicity about that synchronicity, I'd hear it outside the door. And And then now I'd have to put a parenthesis and go, while I was writing this down, another synchronicity happened that had to do with this. And then I'd have to close that parenthesis. Then I'd have to keep going with the last synchronicity I was trying to explain. And dude, it was crazy because I would notice my environment would go whoop. It would come swooping in with something, either the sound of a dog barking or the sound of a car passing by with a particular song that I was just listening to, a phone call coming through. I mean, it was like I was conjuring it up. It was like these agreements were being made. And I noticed that when I started talking with others who appreciate synchronicities, whoa, then they happen even faster and faster and faster. And what's so cool is I've been noticing now, as I'm hanging out with these guys, I'm noticing more and more like-minded souls and wizards, as we call them, finding each other and coming together, and then going back out for the next sort of missions. You know, we'll kind of brainstorm on certain fun, different things to do and ways in which to connect with, you know, certain circumstances. And it's all sort of a performance art kind of project. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. It's all about just connections. And so it wouldn't surprise me that you would happen to be standing underneath a tree, and right when that girl goes, oh yeah, excuse me, I'm going to put my little step stool up, and you were far taller than she could even be standing on the step stool, and you just go, whoop, and you just plunk the little thing out of there. You were perfectly standing exactly where
that's my purpose.
She did, and it was just so awesome, dude, the way that happened.
It was really beautiful.
And I would not have been able to see that and view that and document it had I not been here at this very moment in time to watch that moment happen and give sort of like a high five to the universe. I mean, it's insane how it just goes, it just keeps fractaling and fractaling.
Aren't you appreciative for every moment that we have? Every moment matters. Yeah. And it's like the more beautiful we make every moment, the more meaningful everything becomes. It's absolutely grand. And I'm fascinated with life. Fascinated. And when I was 21, I thought of none of these things. And it's just like each person adds to me and I add to them. That's it. Like you said, the fractals. It's just everything.
It's neat too because like those connections and the bridges that you build between the other people, where you find those commonalities and you bring in all those learned things. Now what happens now is that this vibe now is carried with this brain, and the stories that are shared here are now shared out there. So now that sort of multiplies and amplifies your vibe out there in the world, which is interesting. It's almost like another little dip, 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 a little plant and a little seeds, and now that's growing a tree, now that's growing a tree. It's like, it's so interesting.
I was talking to a friend about, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. That's what I was growing up, and it was a nice experience. Everyone's very kind and loving, big family, but it was the only thing that I had ever really experienced, and I had never really been exposed to the outside world, to be honest. All my friends were within. And so I've been out for 3 years, and my eyes just keep opening and widening, and that's why I use the word fascinated. Everything is just a fascination, and I want to learn and soak that up, and then I can have more conversations with like-minded people who enjoy learning as well and sharing. It's part of... That's why I did the Habits for Success, because I wanted to bring vibes up, you know? Level up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
To love. And that's it. You know? I mean, wow. I'm really happy that I'm here right now and I'm speaking with you, because your presence is making me realize a lot of things as well. You've helped me tonight.
Cool, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for saying that. Oh, dude, you're welcome. What's fun is like when I notice that, like when people get to have those moments to be unpacked, you know, of their connections with just source, you know, and there are different ways of connecting with it, whether it's through music or painting or who knows what. Whoa, I feel like I levitated for a second as I said that. But what's so interesting is as people feel that light, that shine, that star going, you know, turning on again, there's like this, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like the snap, crackle, pop, you know? That's where you start feeling that tingle in the third eye up there going and crackling. You're going, whoa, something's happening. The key's moving into the lock. And like, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And it's crazy when that happens because now what happens is, now each of these people recognize that brightness that's coming out, and it's cool because now, holy cow, it's like a constellation. It's like, joop, 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 connecting the dots. It's really cool.
Can I say my friend, Cerise, my friend, she's amazing. She helped me learn to focus on myself and my thoughts. And that in turn has helped me focus more on others by focusing on myself and making sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
Can I make sure I'm okay? Get that good self-care, get that love in there for myself. And then because I'm in a state of love, I can give you what I can give that.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a whole. You know? So
It's awesome because, it's so cool because what's awesome too is when you find yourself in that zone and in your sort of like in that reality experience that you're creating. What's so interesting is those who are so involved with that have less to say about really anything else that's going on because they're so enthralled with that reality sort of experience they're creating, you know? Like they're putting it's like they're turning on the brightness of like being the best version of themselves. And whoa, as that happens, it's like, man, you start having revelation after revelation. How often do you have revelations, for instance? Like where you go,
explain to me, because I am still learning, I'm not going to front, you know? Explain to me what you mean by revelation.
When you have that epiphany, when you have that, like when there's that, where there's a question that was way back here long ago, and you didn't even really realize at the moment that it was a question, and then you come across a conversation, and it gives you the answer to this thing that you didn't even realize was a question, and you're going, what? Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I don't know what I'm watching right now. I'm a little confused. I know I like it. But I know that there's one thing that's going to help me understand what I'm watching.
Tell me more.
It's called cannabis. Excuse me.
Oh, I see.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
Dr. Cannabis. Paging Dr. Cannabis.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. I gotta hear again. You gotta tell me more about this because I had an amazing experience. It was so smooth, and I felt myself at that moment. It was grand. Please explain.
He wants to know about the Reverend Cannabis. This is an exclusive, only on your show, good sir. Did I just accidentally spit in your eye? I'm so sorry.
I go where others dare not tread.
Especially with my spit. I apologize. So anyway, what we're talking about is homegrown cannabis from the temple, from the Reverend's Corner, and the way that it is done is quite simple. I make my own dirt profile. From there, all organic. From there, I utilize a specialized mycorrhizin, or rather beneficial fungi. I use that to regulate and aggregate my soil. And
there's this giblet. Is there any way to combine that into something?
I could.
What is that?
We like
That was from the one that was there.
That will be
lovely.
very, very strong. I will save that for
Yes,
another
left behind.
time.
Yes, young traveler.
But we can. But we'll just simply relight it.
Yes, young traveler. I do say.
I do.
But essentially, it's interesting.
Please
about
tell
it
us more.
What are these voices? I love them.
But essentially,
We're turning on the volume.
Hello there,
Turning up the volume. Yes, hello there. I do say.
This is Doubtfire.
Someone needs a vacuuming.
Hello. Put a pie in my face.
Someone needs to go vacuuming immediately.
I love that.
Pie in my face.
Hello, put a pie in my face. Anyway, long story short, the idea was to create
Oh my God.
Isn't it great? Was to create a weed, basically, that was a high cannabinoid. Basically, kind of a neutral THC high cannabinoid.
Cannabinoid. That sounds like a Star Wars creature.
It is.
It does.
I like this is good.
The cannabinoids.
From Endor.
That in itself is awesome. That whole statement.
Figure it a ball.
You know what, dude? I imagine the cannabinoids. You know what ghillie suits are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine cannabinoids looking
I
like
wish
that,
I
dude.
had one so
Could you
bad.
imagine for Chenzi's movie? By the way, with between the brainstorms and the brainstorms, I think.
All of it. Yeah, it's all synchronicity. You know. But anyway, so in the end, what ended up happening was we were trying to basically come up with a way of creating an organic way of building a soil more of a soil profile. But what we ended up doing, it was actually not only raising the cannabinoid content within inside of our weed, lowering the THC at a point to where it wasn't mind numbing, but we also came up with a way for the plants to communicate with one another through the fungi material that we used. And what was amazing about it was all of our plants and everything essentially were, how do I explain this? They had 4 different planting times. So like one was planted like during the Ides of March, and then the one was planted on April Fools.
Oh my God! So you had not themes necessarily, but special commemorative times in which you did it. So
exactly.
It contained the spirit of what was happening.
I don't know necessarily that. That's a really good hypothesis. I like that. That is definitely something really good to consider. But for me, it was more of like trying different light spectrum times, because the light is different in different. Yeah, spring it's crazy, and it's
the light spectrum.
But essentially, what ended up happening was they all matured at the exact same time. Interestingly enough, even though some of them were about a couple of months apart from each other when they were planted first. So we discovered a lot, but more so what we discovered was a really inexpensive way of growing weed.
Pretty much.
Now,
I mean, that, I think everybody wants that.
Yeah.
It's a good purpose. Good cause.
Yeah, like for the same price as a full ounce of weed, I can teach you how to grow 12 times that for the same price.
I have to say, because I'm kind of new to cannabis, to be honest with you. I was telling him how I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, but so we didn't do that, obviously. But every time I do it, I feel like my creative side kind of grows a little more. It's nice to be able to, and each strain has opened me up in a different way, and I'm like, okay, and they remain afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay, this is now part of it.
Yeah, and it only lasts for like a little bit,
Like an
so
hour.
it's just like, yeah, you have no hangovers. I mean, it's amazing.
That's the idea too. And everything. It shouldn't last more than 4 hours.
And it fights cancer too. I mean, there's so many
fights
health.
cancer!
It fights cancer.
Fascinates me. What?
Yes. The cancer fighting
And
aspect.
it just became something that is more accepted. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
It's like cannabinoids are really interesting because your body has a shit ton of receptors for them. 48. What's interesting about it is that you have 48 cannabinoids, also found within cannabinoids.
Wait, 48 cannabinoids?
48 different cannabinoids.
What's a cannabinoid?
Cannabinoid is a molecule.
Is it a relative of the cannabinoid?
It is cannabinoid. It's the same thing.
Cannabinoid?
It's just a different way of pronouncing it.
Cannabinoid.
I could be wrong.
Cannabinoid.
It's basically a molecule.
Cannabinoid.
It's an atom.
Cannabinoid. Cannabinoid.
Yes, and the crowd cheers. Hello. Man with the beard, where have you gone? He's with your third eye.
That's the wizard.
The wizard.
So yeah, man. What we ended up creating was something very, very special. Oh, sorry. What we ended up creating was something very, very special.
So as you're all filing out,
It's interesting.
There are many people.
We're all wearing hats. I love the hat aspect. And then we have, our fancy clothes. Everybody's doing their
You got some
thing.
nice shoes, brother.
Styling. Oh, well, thank you. One of my best friends helped me choose them. She likes a young man to look nice and dapper. Oh, man, I was going to go to... Disney's having this day called Dapper Dan Day.
Oh, really?
I looked at that and I was like, why am I pulled towards that?
Bring your promenade to Dapper Dan's.
Dapper Dan.
To Dapper Dan.
Disney. That's really hard to say.
Like that.
Take it off.
Dapper
Oh,
Dan
I see what's
Day.
happening.
But Tobin, one of the musicians there,
Forceps.
we're going to Kauai. So,
Hawaii?
Nice.
yeah, we're
Oh,
going to be in
nice.
Kauai.
Hawaii.
We're going to camp in the jungle.
Oh, shit.
Which, I mean,
That's
honestly,
Interesting.
it's going to be epic for me because I've never really camped until just one time this year. That's it. And I'm 33.
Are there going to be lions in this jungle?
Well, I don't think Hawaii has any predators like that.
I thought you were younger. I thought
Oh,
it was
really?
a really mature 24-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? I always
Yeah,
get
that's the
youth
same thing.
for some reason.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well, I guess I have that youthful
interesting.
energy.
I was gonna say like
Yeah,
this guy's going somewhere.
He's
Like,
got pizzazz.
yeah, he's got
He's
the
got
pizzazz.
He's got the vim, the
And I'm like,
verve.
and he's 33. I'm like, he's still going places.
He's
All
still
right.
going. He's still going.
It is nice to be going. I appreciate that.
Nice to be going. One thing's
That
for
is
sure.
true.
It's nice to be going.
I can put this out, or we can keep going. Feeling good? You wanna?
You know
Is it
what? I'm
nice to
gonna
be
enjoy
going?
this now.
Excellent.
Oh, so did you hear about the MIDI sprout?
No, I
MIDI
did not.
sprout. Like MIDI is in...
There's something called the MIDI sprout. It's a little thing you can hook up to plants. So this might be something interesting. Is the music that's created, you hook up this MIDI sprout to there, and it plays it through, and the most beautiful sounds come out of this thing. And what happens is, you get one plant that
For the road.
that learns, that can hear itself. You can hear it adjusting itself to be in harmony with itself. It's like, and you can hook it up to stuff to change the sound of
So
it.
it's not just the carbon dioxide being given off whenever you're
It's like
singing or making a sound or like
No,
that.
it's like the electric impulses from the plant, and it's so interesting because different plants sing different songs.
Oh wow.
So, and then when you put them with each other, they start hearing each other and teaching each other how to sing, and they start singing with each other. It's really interesting. There are like all these videos, but the MIDI sprout, I so much would love to utilize that in a music situation, especially reading this CIA document that was. Okay, so this research was done in 1983, and it was supposed to be released in 2003, but it wasn't released in 2017, and it's about the Monroe Institute, the hemisync stuff, and this CIA operative went down the rabbit hole. It's like a 29-page dossier of him going down the rabbit hole in learning about quantum mechanics, transcendental meditation, hypnosis, all of this stuff about hertz and megahertz and the way that our bodies vibrate at the same level, can be trained to vibrate with the earth. And so he went down this rabbit hole, and he goes, I had to look at this so objectively, where it had nothing to do with religion, it had nothing to do with occultism. I just had to look at it for how it works with the brain.
Yeah.
So he was instructed to go down this rabbit hole and learn about this stuff. So all this page is about the holographic universe, how we create our own realities. And what's so crazy is that all of this stuff has been talked about for eons by all of these philosophers and mystics and, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just cool because it's like science now can put its stamp of approval on it, so to speak, and go, bam, this is something that's real.
Yeah.
Now, what that does now is open up the floodgates of information for those who see this and go, what? Maybe I should now investigate this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine the kinds of things that could be manifesting at such a rapid rate as more and more people keep waking up to it?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nuts? If more and more people start waking up to it, could you imagine the power and the frequency of the manifestations?
That'd be nuts. It would. Everybody be connected. They'd be just like, I don't know. It's like my mind's just like, here's all this humming. Just like the synchronized humming. I don't know. Yeah. It makes me think, for some reason it brings to mind, someone told me about crickets at my work. We all ask what each other wants to hear. So my friend there, he's like, I'd like to listen to crickets. And I'm like, crickets, okay. And he said that he showed me this thing where they slow it down, they slow the cricket sound down to where it's it's like the length of a human lifespan in time-wise through this singing of the crickets, and it just sounds like a chorus of like angels. It's crazy.
Wow, how beautiful.
Yeah. Whoa. Just made me think of that. But it's amazing. I'll have to send it.
That could be a beautiful soundtrack for a movie.
Oh my God.
It's all the soundtrack is by Mother Nature. How beautiful is that? So you slow it down.
Yeah.
You got it hooked up to the plants. Heck, you slow that down. I was thinking too. Imagine if there's a way to find some kind of cryptography, the language, the vibration, if it translates to English in some way.
Our brothers.
Are you out of here?
Pleasure
It was a pleasure meeting you.
All right.
It was very nice.
No, very lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
Take care.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
See you,
He
Gary.
looks so much like my buddy Jason Carr.
See how fast he's walking off?
Yeah.
He's embarrassed
Why?
because we were showing him lots and lots of gratitude.
Oh, lots of attitude.
Gratitude.
Oh, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Oh, gratitude.
And it's what's amazing about it is it's like that's just sort of a foreign concept for a lot of individuals and everything to go up to him and going, hey, guess what? You're fucking awesome. And like, well, I haven't done anything. Yes, you have.
Oh my God.
My perception, and you're
I
awesome.
haven't done anything.
And yes, you have.
I guess you have.
And that's amazing. And that's such an
Yeah.
amazing feeling.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
For a lot of people, we don't know how to experience that.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's one of those things to where when you finally accept it, it's amazing. It's you could be a man who lives off paycheck to paycheck your entire life, but just as long as you have that one thing, you die a happy person.
Yes.
That's what matters.
Yes.
That's for you who is listening to my words. Remember,
To my
what
words.
matters in life is these three things. Number one, purpose. Number two, gratitude. And number three, a good death.
A good death? Is that what you said?
Well, that's my philosophy for them right now.
A good death, yeah.
Until tomorrow.
I hear in New Orleans they carry him in the casket down the street. Is that true?
The wizard would actually
I've been
know.
there once.
He lived there for a while.
I was only there for a few days, so I
Did you
didn't.
see any caskets carried on shoulders down the
No, I
streets?
didn't. Saw a lot of crazy shit, but no casket.
More people getting blown in street corners, but no caskets.
That was yeah.
What kind of interesting things did you see while you were there?
Oh my god. Well, beyond that,
Nolans.
Nolans.
This is the point
it
where
was really
she begins
cool.
to be a little shy.
No, I was walking down. I guess I went down the wrong street. It was during the day with my friends,
But
and
she's
we were
awesome.
walking down. And there's all these stoops. There's stoops. There's a guy sitting there, and there's a woman in his lap, and she's doing things to him, and he's making just direct eye contact with all of us. And I'm just like, oh, and so then I look down, and this woman also has a male part just hanging out the bottom too. And I'm like, oh. They're like, oh my god. I'm like, just keep walking. Just keep walking.
Just keep walking.
Where am I? Oh, it was crazy. It was awesome. Like, there was these cool cemeteries. Like, some of the graves were like crumbled in because it was after Hurricane Katrina, I guess. That happened. And there was all these voodoo shops, which was badass. And coyote
Voodoo shops?
Yeah, voodoo shops. Yeah, there was.
And you went into them?
Oh yeah.
What did you see in there?
Oh, there was all kinds of stuff. Like there was glass eyes, and there was chicken legs and dried chicken legs and all kinds of different things. Yeah, and you weren't allowed to photograph in there or bring cameras in or anything. Yeah, and there was this woman that was I guess a witch or whatever they would call it there. She has a special grave in one of the cemeteries, and there's all these candles and offerings and paintings and just amazing stuff all around it. It's crazy.
Did they have voodoo spell books in there or anything?
Oh god, yeah. It was just, there's candles, there was books, there was all kinds of stuff. Stuff that you find in metaphysical shops and then some. Yeah. And then some is nuts.
Did you see stuff in there that seemed typical of what you have heard about voodoo, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
didn't
some
expect to
stuff,
see that? Or
yeah, some stuff. So I don't know really how much it is tourist and how much is
they might just be playing on the legend or whatever, right? And
I mean, it seemed authentic. It seemed really cool in there. I don't know. It was cool either way. I liked it. But
wow, something just popped in my brain. Okay, I know that these voodoo rituals and all that stuff happen out there. However, wouldn't that be interesting? I imagine sort of this land that's sort of in New Orleans, and it's ooh, there's voodoo and voodoo and voodoo. What if the equivalent of the voodoo was a made-up religion, a made-up occultism, made-up stories by all of the townspeople in there, which then they then sell this story, these artifacts of that story in these shops. You know what I mean? So how interesting would that be? Is if they invent this myth, strictly for tourists to then buy their wares in the gift shop.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I almost said, like, the Bible? I'm like, wait, no.
The Bible? We are the only town designated to have the world's most true Bible.
Oh, the most true.
We promise we have the most
It's
true
the
Bible.
Most true one out of any of them ever.
Yeah, complete with extra passages, newly discovered passages. We have the only original one. But of course, it's whatever they wrote, right?
That's true.
Yeah, because then they scribe it in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm curious about St. Thomas, the Books of Enoch, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Gnostic stuff, and why all that was left out of the Bible. Do you know about why?
No, I don't. I mean, just probably, I don't know. I mean, the fan theory is, to keep stuff out of the public eye and knowledge out of the public eye or whatever, keeping secrets. So I don't know. Eric, interesting enough, Mark's brother, he has the Gospel of Mary Magdalene that was never, apparently in the Bible.
What?
It was a whole,
How did he find that?
I don't know. I need to ask him. He goes to Barnes and Noble a lot, but he found this online somewhere. I don't know. I have to ask.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a few of them that weren't in there. Yeah.
Was it channeled information, you think?
I don't know. Or I think it was in an actual it was supposed to be a John whatever.
Oh, so they found a scroll someplace.
Yeah, like a Dead Sea Scroll thing, but it's Mary Magdalene's writings. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I need to read it.
If I was the mischievous type and I had billions, I might feel compelled to make some of those newly discovered scrolls.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a good idea. It'd sell a lot.
Could you imagine?
It would sell a lot.
Could you imagine? Just finding the way of aging it, making it look aged.
Just dip it in tea or coffee.
Just dip it in a lot of tea and coffee.
Yeah, over and over and just crumble it a bunch. Keep dipping it.
Yeah.
Bind it together with some weird stuff.
Bind it together.
Find some hemp wick.
Yeah.
Make it look tattered.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I found this. We're on an archaeological dig.
It's genius. We'll sell billions.
We'll sell billions.
Oh, man.
Stay tuned to the chapter of The Wizard of L.A. and Friends coming soon to a Bible near you.
Like an analog 8-bit version of today's LEDs.
Yes, totally. It was way ahead of its time.
The guy was ahead of his time and just right behind the curve.
Yes, right, exactly. That's why I kind of got lost a little bit. Lost relic. But hopefully, they're trying to save it. I don't know how they're going to be able to withstand the power of
I think
the city.
we make a legend about it. It's that simple.
Yeah, I hope so. But, the thing is, to prepare for the worst, they do still have the schematics. Everything. How all the plans and how it was built and the wiring and all that.
Yeah.
So we could recreate it. It could be recreated.
Well, can it be transported?
It cannot. It's
No.
It's too heavy. It's too much concrete poured. It'll just crumble. But they've thought of that. But no, they're going to apparently build that building here, and then create something over there. I can't remember. There's a trade happening. Essentially, they're just going to switch this building over here.
No,
I mean, it's probably
you're
going to
joking.
be a new building, but yeah, it'll be that whatever that building serves as the new building.
They said it's not in the master blueprint that's been updated from a couple of years ago. It's not shown in the blueprint.
Okay, so
Yeah. I mean, they could build it over it, around it. That'd be kind of interesting.
this would be neat inside of an
Yes,
atrium.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be
Thinking.
cool.
Yeah.
And you get all silent running with it.
Well, couldn't they build it so that regular people could go up and interact with it at certain times, and it would?
That was the idea. He wanted it fully functional to where a pedestrian could come up and have their own light and sound experience. And he was looking at it as interactive installation way back in the day.
Yeah.
it didn't get completed, and that's how that happened. And they said the computer was buggy
Yeah, it
even
was
back
super
then.
buggy. Yeah.
And the control center's underground, which makes it even more like Phantom of the Opera. Like, can you imagine a guy down there like?
But I mean,
Was
now
it
you
Strange
can control it
Brew?
all with
Remember
like your
that?
phone. You could have your.
I know. Yeah, the computing power in your phone could drive the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just this
well,
madman down in the
The
basement.
Casio calculator from like the 90s might have been able
Yes.
to do it.
Yeah, the scientific calculators that were out in the 90s.
Right.
So much computing power. I mean, they had to do custom software for this, and they had to do some updates, but it took them a year to get this thing online.
Well, think about
just
with
now.
modern tech, what could be done to really pump it up. I mean, like everything that he wanted to do and more. All the lasers, all the holograms, like all of that cool stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, if you just did this and just kind of turned it up 50%, just to kind of keep it still grounded.
Oh, dude.
Whatever the technology would still have to be grounded, but human.
Yeah, a weekly hologram show
I
right
saw,
in the middle.
I saw Roy Orbison as a hologram at the Wiltern last week,
How
2
was
weeks
that?
ago. You know what? He looked good. It was amazing.
Dude, I was
And,
just listening to Roy Orbison.
That would be that would be right there.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know?
No, I know. Yeah. I mean,
You could keep it grounded. It's like, imagine, or Joe Young himself, like get like actual like cool like historical people or artists, like people that are tied to the city.
Yeah.
That could actually like go in there and deliver like information as a hologram. And you could actually, this is where you kind of tie like some of the burner tech elements to it. You could play different sequences of music that would secretly unlock different characters to deliver like a little like 5 minute, like Reggie, you got like your little nugget that you just throw in there, and it's like, oh wait, if you hit the Simon, the different colored like pegs for it or whatever, and then it just unlocks. It's like, what could you get? You'd have people lined up trying to figure out like, how to get different characters to like come out. And you could have anyone do
Abraham
something.
Lincoln.
You just come in, shoot a little like 30-second hologram thing.
it would be dope. I mean, it's just good to have something in the city that the general population can interact with. It's a really cool thing. There's some great stuff in Chicago. Chicago's got that huge open park with that like crazy amorphous silver object. And you like walk underneath it, and just the reflections and the distortions are just incredible. And then there's like this huge like video kind of tower that makes these faces of different people. I don't know
On
if
the
they're
block?
specifically from the city, but it's like on the surface of it. It's got all these like screens, and there's like these giant faces appear, and they just kind of change over time. It's just really cool. I just love installations like that where it's kind of humanized the city center with technology. Technology is more human oriented.
Well, once you get people involved in it, that changes it, because it's not like this ominous monolithic thing at them. It's like they're dancing with it, and it's much more bridging the gap of those things.
Yeah, they're interacting.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I got a split.
Auto-tune, hey.
Pleasure.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
auto-tune it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hi, Reggie.
Hi, Chenzi.
Chenzi, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great show.
Hey man, I'm Kurt. Great job up there, man. It was funny. Last time I was here, it was the Adam West Memorial, and there were some guys dressed up like the Batman 1966
old
guys.
school ones,
and you know how like the bad guys would have goon on the chest.
Right, yes.
So there was the goon,
Oh my
and then there was like the old the Joker, Caesar Romero, the mustache and everything, and the Riddler, and dude, they looked exactly like him. It was just astounding.
God, that's amazing.
And it took place in front of City Hall, and they shined the Batman signal up there. So there were all these Batmans all over the place, and then they had 2 Batmobiles there too,
The old
which
school
was so kick-ass. Yeah, you could go there and just see them.
You just
Oh my god!
stumbled upon
I love
it,
those
but
things.
you fractal with it.
Yeah, I got lucky. Hey, Reggie.
Goon.
Durian.
Durian, yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
remember we met at that party?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to key out with you with some of these like weird whistles that I've been making.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Karina stuff? Yeah.
If you push that button, dude. If you push that button,
Okay.
that's like one of those buttons that definitely takes you in a whole nother parallel universe. If you touch that button.
Special over
Like, think of the parallel universe you want to go to.
It's like modulated with my
Oh, okay.
Oh, pardon me. But that would be an interesting thing, like a gem on someone's chest. You push it, and it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And they disappear, and then they reappear somewhere.
And so it vibrates in a different way, and you hear a bass note. You hear a lower note that is not here with your eardrum. You hear it through induction. Your inner ear, so it's your sense of vertigo.
Dude, this is so cool. See, now I'm puzzled. At first, I thought this place was the place you guys actually remember on a podcast. I was coming back. It was the night after seeing David Lynch. I was walking back through, and I was trying to find the spot where I had been walking around with Chenzi and the gang. And I walked across that space, and I was actually in front of... Oh.
I'd be able to feel that skull inside. Yeah, it's like just like inside, like in between the ears, and really deep inside, and that.
And as you pay attention to that, it kind of opens. I call it mental floss.
Yeah, oh,
like
that's
dental
interesting.
floss.
That's a great floss. That's so perfect.
Braino.
Yeah, Braino. That's good.
Or Blissando.
That's great. I love that experience. It's really cool. Yeah, the resonance is so tight. It's like kind of like the secret of how to do like a stereo placement with just headphones.
You want to get going?
You were playing it with your you were panning really quick, left, right, at the very end there. Mark, it's so nice to meet you.
So now I just got to figure out where that place was. Pleasure meeting you guys. Oh. Oh, dude, and Reggie, if you're at all a fan of like yacht rock music, I'm in a band called Yachtly Crew, and we're playing at Viper Room. This coming the first Friday of coming up in November.
Awesome.
So
okay,
yeah, it's a lot of fun. We sing all just love songs. Michael McDonald, Christopher Cross. Oh yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. People wear the captain's hats.
Yes.
And everything. It's so
I want to go. I'm going.
It was a pleasure meeting you, man. Take care.
Oh, no way. You live in Ohio.
It's great. It gave me Yachtly Crew postcard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's good night.
We caught wind that Mario Lopez is going to be at the Viper Room.
Tonight?
on when Yachtly Crew plays. Yeah.
Like from
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
He doesn't age. I'm pretty sure he's like a cyborg or a vampire.
I think so too. Like they've also noticed with Keanu Reeves too. He doesn't seem to age. The two of those guys. They're talking to the same electrotrician. Would that be crazy if they're just like, yeah. They get certain electrocutions. So yeah, that thing that I was in, I'm not sure where the hell it actually was. I have got to figure it out. But it was a triangle, and it was making sounds.
From this thing?
I thought it was this thing, but it's
thing?
Yeah. It was a wider open. It was a wider open space. Yeah, there was grass, and I thought it was near where we had first walked for that first wizard walk.
7th and Fig.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fountain thing, was it? Pyramid thing?
I don't know, but it had like binaural beats going on inside of it. I was standing inside of it, and I was recording a podcast inside of there. And I was coming home late one night after the David Lynch book signing at the Ace Hotel. And I was walking to find the train station near to where that wizard walk was, where we met that kid who got off his bike and he was like recording and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the little kid and, playing with Lumi. I came across this thing that it was like a triangle, and then it had like these binaural beats, and I could hear it walking up to it. It's like, ooh, and I got closer to it, and I stood inside of it, and just all around me. Like I could have just sat in there and just like soaked it all up. And when he told me about this thing, I swore I thought for sure this was that thing, and it might have been, but I don't know. But I know that there was like a little stage thing that was in there. Oh man, it was just so amazing. So yeah, if that thing is still going on, I hope that at some point you stumble across this thing, because it feels so magical. It's like something unexpected.
It made me think of the Integratron. Have you heard of that? The Integratron?
Is that out in the desert?
Yeah. Yeah, it's by Giant Rock, where we go camping.
Were you talking about...
It's right down the street.
Okay, that's a dome yours. Were you telling me that's like a dome?
And they do sound vibration, like it's sound healing in there, so it's just...
Have you gone inside of it?
No. I want to. I never have, though. We've driven by it several times.
How far is that from here?
Like 3 hours, I guess. I think. Is Giant Rock 3 hours from here?
Let's walk over here real quick. Giant Rock is 3 hours from here, but you're gonna have to come there with us, and we're gonna we'll show you stuff.
Oh my God, we have this camping spot that's so bomb.
Oh my God, yeah.
We call it the Mystic Circle, and we're actually gonna move it to a different spot where there's mostly shade.
Kenzie's camped with us twice there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we shall report more on this lay tour. So as I'm recording this is 10:20. What you just heard, all of that was on 10:19. That was at the Triforium out there near the Civic Center by the City Hall. It's the same place where they had the Adam West Memorial, Batman Memorial. So it was magical out there. This is part 1. So if you want to hear part 2, where we end up finishing our conversation with Reggie Watts, then you can hear an artist party we end up going to right afterwards, where Michaelangelo is, and we end up having an extraordinary conversation with a couple who sell various stones and gems, and boy oh boy do the synchronicities just keep blasting at full speed, lightning speed. You're gonna love it. Take care. Keep the Inspirado flowing, and keep that in mind.